First episode back in 2 weeks. So sorry, fans. I'm back. I'm healthy. I was sick for 2 weeks, but now I'm glad to be back. And I'm joined by one of our co-hosts, Lyons, for the show. And we're joined by a really special guest. His name is Antoine McClain. He's a former NFL offensive guard. He played for Clemson for college. He's a Super Bowl champion from the Baltimore Ravens. He also played for the Raiders, Bills, Saints, Bears, Cardinals. We're looking forward to this interview. But now, after his football career, he currently works for the still works for Clemson football team. And we're going to get to that. And I'm really excited for this interview. And man, what a great career, great offensive guard. Antoine, I just want to say thank you for joining the show today. And like I said, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So Antoine, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah. So how are you and your family doing?
We're doing good, man. For the most part, everybody is. Guess everybody's trying to stay safe, but I'm not too worried. But no, everybody's good. It's a great time right now. So for me and my family, so yeah, we're doing well.
That's good.
Nice, Antoine. So
yes,
strong football player. Take us back to young Antoine. Take us back to like your first decade. What was your inspiration? You're in Alabama, grew up in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Well, I remember seeing my first actual football game when I was like 3 or 4. And I think from then on, I was like, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was looking at, but that's definitely what I wanted to do. My brother was a big inspiration to me playing football. My brother is 6 years older than me. So I had a chance to my brother come to visit us in summertime. This is my dad's oldest son. Come and visit in summertime. He would always talk about his accolades from football, track, and as a big brother, that's kind of what you look up to. So all the things that he was doing, I was kind of like mimicking them with my friends. And so I think that kind of was spiraled me fully into it because I had so much to actually, show me the game of football. My mom and dad, my mom played sports. She's more softball and volleyball in high school and track. My dad didn't play any sports. So it was my brother, man. I did too. Once I, became to football, learning the game of football and understanding, the makings of it. I grew up just as far as inspiration, just watching, so I played pretty much everything except a quarterback growing up. So just guys like, Warren Sapp was a big inspiration for me as far as guys, and Jonathan Ogden. I always loved big men that could move because I was a big guy that, could move. So that kind of always helped me with the inspiration part of it. So Booker McFarland and all those guys, man, they was a big inspiration for me.
Wow.
That's awesome. You're 6'5". So how fast did you grow?
I always been a big kid.
When you're 18, you're still giant. Yeah. That's awesome.
I've been a giant all my life, man. So everybody that I've always had to play with, the older guys, because I was always big. So I think that kind of contributes to my skill set because playing with older guys, even though I'm a big guy, you still, maturity level. So I think that greatly has something to do with me, with my skill set.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we go any further, we are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, on all the podcast platforms. So please, fans, tune in. This is going to be a good one. So Antoine, obviously with your stature and size, do you ever think to yourself, maybe I could be a defensive player too, like nose tackle, defensive tackle?
Oh, yeah.
So tell our fans about the process. What made you switch from defense to offense permanently?
Well, I grew up in the neighborhood and the teams where we had to play both sides of the ball. So I had to always play offensive line, tight end, defensive line. So it wasn't like a set position, but when I started getting recruited by schools, it was offensive line, some defensive line because I mainly played offense, tight end and tackle and guard. But growing up in Little League and all that, I played D-line and outside. So I was always tall and I was a big guy, but I could carry my weight well and I could move. So, but it was never a set position. But by like 9th, 10th grade, I kind of knew, all right, offensive line probably was going to be where I'm going to play because I started looking at TV and started looking at guys and, their stories and just looking at that structure. Just, okay. So I know that, it ain't too many 6'5" fullbacks or 6'5" or 6'4". Anytime they are, but I know mainly what I was getting recruited for. So.
Wow.
But it wasn't, I think me being agile and having that ability to move about and be with a lot of agility I think that helped me play offensive line. So.
Okay.
Antoine, what was your mindset like? So from a young age, knowing that you wanted to do it, to play football professionally, what was your mindset as far as school and structure and just like building your body and protecting it as well? What was that like?
Well, one thing I wish I would have had better knowledge of was the nutrition side of it. Because, growing up, you just eat what your parents cook, or you just eat what you ate at high schools.
Yeah.
I didn't think to towards my end of my career that I understood the health wise. But as far as school, man, my mom didn't play, so it was grades is always the thing that we always had to abide by. And me and my sister always been, straight A students. I kind of got in the C range, the ABC range around middle school, 9th grade, but I've always tried to do my best. And thank God I had my brother who showed me. I saw his process with getting recruited with having to have the right grades at ACT, understand that at a young age. So I knew in high school I didn't have much margin for error, because I knew that's what college was looking at. But I've always been the guy who always been focused on academics. Actually had a chance to be, academic All-ACC here at Clemson, and has a few accolades. But yeah, I've always been the one to not saying do the right thing, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I couldn't do. So my thing was I always try my best to stay straight and narrow. But of course, any teenager, man, you still have fun and you still be sneaky. But at the same time, I was never one of those guys that you have to worry about.
Wow.
Exactly. Nice.
That's amazing.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So Kia mentioned before you're from Alabama. So tell our fans about the college recruitment process and what made you choose Clemson over Alabama, and how many did Alabama have an offer for you, or how many offers did you have before choosing Clemson?
Well, I think my recruiting started at around 9th grade when coaches seeing me.
In 9th grade?
But
Wow.
yeah, but
they were stalking you.
Right. I had my first offer, I think. I had a bunch of HBCUs and FCS schools around my 10th grade, but my Power 5 Division I offer started around my junior year. And I ended up with over 40 some offers. But the recruiting process was cool. It was fun. Granted, my parents didn't really know nothing about that. I mean, of course they had my brother, but it was crazy, man. It was a gift and a curse, because I feel like, I've always been a humble guy. So I know once you start getting attention from ESPN and TV, and coming from a small town, and a lot of small-minded people, or people who haven't been there, to that level, I guess it was kind of tough, because everybody thought that I had the big head, or people was like, why you never just, talk your stuff? Because I don't want to, but if I do talk my stuff, it's like, you got the big head. If I don't, I feel like I'm too good. So it was a gift and a curse, man. I had a very hard time with my head coach my senior year. We kind of had, I don't know, it was a great time, and it was kind of one of the worst times because I didn't know how to deal with grown adult and their opinions and whatnot. So I've always felt like I try to do what everybody wanted me to do. But around about, one of my coaches, Coach Bernard Ewell, man, I thank him for this. He told me, man, he said, don't worry about what your parents want you to do or go, or these coaches want you to go, because he played D1 ball and was recruited the same light. He said, at the end of the day, man, when it's 5:30 in the morning and you out there in the freezing cold about to run these 100-yard dashes or these sprints, and about where your coach wanted you to go, and about where your mom and your brother, your dad wanted you to go. It was all about where you feel comfortable at. So once he told me that, man, I kind of shut all the naysayers out and the hate per se from teachers and coaches, but not to say anything bad on that, but I think I never spoke on that. But it's just being candid with you guys. It was a great time, and it was kind of one of the toughest times, because just dealing with why you're not going to Alabama, why you're not going to Auburn. I had both of those schools, but I didn't know. All my friends was going to Bama and Auburn, and I didn't want to follow that crowd, and I didn't want to go to Bama because the hometown wanted me to go, or I didn't want to go to Auburn because my coaches wanted me to go. But Coach Swinney, man, Coach Swinney he's from Alabama, actually.
Oh, wow.
He was a stickler. He's one of those guys, man, that always, from recruiting started, he came along, but he always stayed persistent. And I took my visit to Clemson, man, and I loved it. And I always wanted to be somebody to help. Like my class is one of the classes that helped change or push forward the coaching here at Clemson now. So I'd rather be a part of that than to just go and just do something to say, well, I went to Bama because I'm from Alabama. I didn't really care about that. I didn't really care about people's opinions and all that. I kind of want to blaze my own trail. So, and then my brother too was an hour away from Clemson. It's like my hero. So it was good to have him. But that wasn't my deciding factor. But just to know that if I did go to Clemson, I have big bro up the street to, kind of help, help me hone in. So, but it was a great time though. Besides all the, the hoopla from teachers and coaches and, all the nay and sway stuff, the recruiting process was very fun. I got a chance to see stuff from another perspective, from people and from coaches, and just to understand that, this is a business decision and who cares what everybody thinks, go where you want to go. So
absolutely. And I wish that more students and just people in general would hold that same mentality and attitude. It really gets you where you need to go at an accelerated rate. And clearly from you going to Clemson, we can see your heart's at Clemson, and you went and played in the NFL and then came back to, went to a couple places and then came back to Clemson. Yes. And it's awesome. It's so great. Tell us talk a little bit about once you got there, what was that like? Because it's a big step, even though, your brother was close by, but it's a big step when you come someplace from home, when you finally left Alabama. Right. What was that like with the camaraderie and the team and just being a new student?
Well, it was kind of cool because a lot of the guys that I came in with, it was weird because we all played, most of us played on the Under Armour team together. We was I played in the first Under Armour game in Orlando, but a lot of us was on the same team. And we ended up being one of the top signing classes in the nation. This is Coach Sweeney's last year as a receivers coach. So he always brags on that. But it was good. It was cool because I've always wanted to get away from home. I've always wanted to be my own man and experience life on my own. For one, to show my parents that, you guys were tough on me, but I've always had my mindset on what I want to do in life. So I've always felt that, coming here, man, was a blessing because I got a chance to experience different cultures, different music, different foods, experiencing all these great players in this big gumbo pot and how we're going to mesh together. So it was great. Some of my best friends in life, we played together. So came in here. So when you get a chance to, struggle together, you learn on the learning curve together, and everybody was on their own journey, but we on the same mission at one point. It was fun, man. And yeah, I know I made the right decision. So it was great. Awesome. It was great being a freshman here, but it was great to see myself and my friends evolve over time. So it was a great experience.
Wow. Yeah. So what was it like? The atmosphere, the fans there at Clemson, obviously they were a great football program, great college program in general. And also, what was it like being with Dabo Swinney? What was he like as a coach when you were there? And there's a couple coaches, I believe, that will not leave college to go to the NFL. Dabo Swinney fits perfectly as a college coach. I think this guy Clemson is lucky to have a guy like Dabo Swinney right now. So for you, what was it like for you there with Dabo Swinney?
It was great. I mean, Coach Swinney, he was a receivers coach. So, I spent most of my time with Joey Basson, the strength coach, and Coach Brad Scott and Coach Caldwell. But, Coach Swinney, he always makes sure his guys that he recruited, he always made sure that he kept up with us or whatnot. And then when he took over as a head coach, he was every bit of everything that he was as a coach, receivers coach, that he was a head coach. So he loved all his players. He's going to make sure we're on the right track. He's going to make sure that we're good. So it was great, man, to see all the things that he speak about being tattooed on the walls around here. All his quotes that he say that he lived by, they're always, on every wall or every building. So it's cool to see that the shrine of some of his words, but it's not like his biggest thing is it's not a slogan, it's a way of life. He really stands by that. So it was great, man. Great experience. He helped take us to new heights, man. So I'm forever grateful for playing here and being here. So great. Whatever you see on TV, man, he's a matter of fact dude. He's straight to the point. So but a great guy, man, a great spirit.
Wow.
And
Antoine,
the fans, man, and oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, everybody always talks about, Clemson football and running down the hill is the most exciting 20 seconds in football. So it's every bit of that every Saturday, man. The stadium is rocking. A crazy 90,000 crazy fans every Saturday home games. And even when we travel, man, we have, I think, one of the best traveling squads in America because our fans travel. So it's always good, man. It's always good to feel that love and then see that orange crushing, that orange wave every Saturday, man. It's even now that I'm on staff now, that I just can see it. I see it, man, every Saturday. It's like, wow, man, it's amazing.
You know what? We're ready. We're ready to join you. We're ready for the trip, right?
Yes,
It sounds awesome. It's energy.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of energy. Starting on Wednesday when they tailgate until Saturday to Sunday morning.
That's fantastic. Antoine, tell us what would your advice be for a college athlete of any different type of sport, but at Clemson, anywhere? What's your best advice for a college athlete?
Man, my best advice is for an athlete, I would say the nutrition part of it, man. Get your rest and your nutrition. And I will always say, man, figure out ways to where you can get better at. Like, don't just do the bare minimum, what's required of you. Figure out what the extra is for you to get better, man. And I would say definitely take care of your body, man. And I would say don't worry, man, because it's all gonna unfold. Like, man, I think so much nowadays these kids are social media and your parents and coaches' expectations. It's like if you work hard and you know what to do and you're being a good person, it's gonna work out. I think everybody's focused on going to the league, but I think kids should just focusing on being a great collegiate athlete your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year, or every time you leave, focus on the moment, man. Don't worry about the league ain't going nowhere. Like, so let's just get better, blossom where you are. But I know a lot of us, not even people that's not in school as an athlete, I think we learned that later on in life to like enjoy the moment. So I would say enjoy the moment, man. Have fun, be respectable, do what you're supposed to do, and grind hard, but enjoy it, man. Like, I like to say, if you broke, if you're gonna be broken down and out now, and you getting something out of it, and you can't take care of your family now or go to the league now, the league ain't going nowhere, man. Why not just get the best of where you're at right now? So I would say that. Don't worry about trying to save your family or trying to get to the NFL, man. Enjoy it now because the NFL is great, but I would say in order to be great there, you got to be great here.
Right.
Absolutely. And the college bowls are pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, live for them.
Right.
Other freaks for them. They're awesome.
This is the only time in life where you have responsibilities, but you don't. You don't have to worry about light bill, cable bill, power bill. You just worry about going to class, being a great kid. Nowadays, these kids are graduating with their masters and with more eligibility. So, like, that's a blessing, man. Like, enjoy it. I can tell these kids, I'm like, bro, like, enjoy it right now. Enjoy it because in the NFL, it's not going to be the same. It's a job.
Yeah.
Fans, please tune in. We are live with former Clemson and NFL offensive guard Antoine McClain, Super Bowl champion from the Ravens. This is a great conversation so far, so please tune in. Ask any questions on my Spreaker account. It will come in here, so hopefully fans can ask some questions also. But Antoine, so after your college career, unfortunately you didn't get drafted. So tell our fans about that process. You were undrafted, but how grateful are you that the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens that year gave you an opportunity to come into camp, prove yourself, and you were able to make the team. But just tell us the process that got you there.
Yeah.
Man, well, the process that got me there. Well, I already knew as a kid I was playing NFL that was gonna be, but not being able to be drafted, that sucked. And the most suckiest part about it was, like, my family's all there, and it's like the final clock is ticking down. I'm like, damn, I'm not getting drafted. That sucked so bad, man. But I remember when I got a call and said, first of all, I've been getting calls from teams all day long. We're gonna take you here. We're gonna take you. Nobody never took me. So just to hear, who that was, Ozzie Newsome called me. He was like, we're done with our draft board, but we would love for you to come as a high priority free agent. If you come in and do what you're supposed to do, you'll make this team.
Right.
So I was excited about that. And but Baltimore, I watched those guys for the last 3 years before I got to Baltimore. It was like AFC Championship, they'll lose to the Steelers, they'll lose to the Patriots, lose to the Steelers, lose to the Patriots. So like they're gonna get it one year, and then lo and behold, when I got there, you saw the mindset of everybody that's already been there, like Super Bowl. We didn't speak about it a lot, but we already knew what the dream and passion was. Everybody knew that if this was Ray Lewis's last year.
Right.
We had an all-star cast team, man. So I knew what time it was. I just wanted to sit back and soak up as much of the game as I could have, and I did. And man, I'm kind of blessed that I had a chance to experience that. But yeah, it was a sad moment then, but I'm kind of glad. I mean, it happened. It fell where it fell.
Yeah, I watched some clips today of that. That was incredible.
Yeah, that was one of the that was crazy.
That was, and Beyonce and Destiny's Child at the halftime show. That's amazing. That's amazing. But I want to go back. I want to go back to the call because it's something that I really believe in, and I want to just have a conversation with you about it. Is the call. You knew that you wanted to be in the NFL. You didn't get the call, and I believe we in order to attain our desires, that we have to really believe that we are already getting it. So what helped you get over that moment, or did you just know like, when I didn't get the call, but I'm still going? Right.
So when I went out, when I saw that, that 3 or 4 teams was left, I'm like, well, I'm not getting drafted. And then I get the call from Ozzie Newsome, and everybody got quiet looking at me, and I told my mom that everybody, it just exploded and erupted. So it was still a great celebration. It's still a great time, but that's that sad feeling, man. Like, damn, I'm not getting drafted, but you getting that call, man. That kind of like,
call.
Yeah, I was just happy for my mom to, see it. She about to freak out. And my mom's like super, like, she always loved and was worried about what we were doing. Like to her see my dream come true. You know what I'm saying? That kind of what made it all right. But that wasn't even, I know you talk about the call, but like that wasn't even the proudest moment for me. The proudest moment for me was able to fly my grandma and my mom to Super Bowl.
Oh, break my heart.
That was the moment for me, man. Or like my grandma having the chance, she never flew in her life, and having a chance to come and see me play in Arizona. That was like my proudest moments, like the draft and all that, because we love the NFL, but like those moments that like, wow, that was my wow moment. Like that was like, it's all worth it then to see my grandma experience a plane ride to Arizona, or my grandma get to experience a Super Bowl, and my mom get to see her son win a Super Bowl. So those moments were, and then too, man, like afterwards, the after party was great because like Frankie Beverly and Mays was performing. Like these are people that my mom grew up watching. So all of that, man, that kind of what helped. That kind of what not getting drafted and everything happened the way it happened. That was like kind of what made everything. It made it all better.
I'm not gonna cry. You're like, I'm getting all weepy. You're such a great son. You're such a great son. It's
amazing,
awesome.
Amazing story.
I'm a mom of 3, so like, let my kids be good to me. That's amazing. That is what it's all about. That's so special. And it was incredible. Everybody should go back and watch the clips because it was that end of that game was ridiculous. Crazy.
It's crazy. But then to see guys like see Ray Lewis get a chance to ride off in the sunset with Super Bowl, and one of my man, just to see all of us rookies who didn't play in that game, but we knew what it took to get there, and all that, man, was worth it, man. It was like the funniest moment was then when we partied all night and we was leaving the next morning to get on the plane, and Ray Rice was like, "Yeah, man, the party ain't over. We're gonna party on the plane." we get on the plane, and like you could hear a pin drop. Everybody was so sleepy and tired.
Wow. That's crazy.
But that was the greatest moments of that.
And Colin Kaepernick played that game too, and that was like one at the beginning. Yeah. He looked so young in that clip.
Right. We all did. You remember?
Hey, Ray Lewis could have played 10 more years after that. So
yeah, man. Dog, I got so many Ray Lewis stuff. This is crazy though.
Like speaking of, but here's the real question. Obviously, your grandma had the first plane flight. Was she nervous, or how excited was she, or was she excited and nervous at the same time?
I don't know. Well, they actually drove from my hometown from the Falls like 5 hours, but she flew to Arizona when I was in Arizona. But my I don't think they was kind of like nervous a little bit, but I kind of like explained everything to them multiple times, and my grandma was cool. She was just ready to do it. She
was so proud of you. She was like, "I'm going."
Yeah, that was, and it was Thanksgiving weekend too. So my mom got a chance to cook for me and my teammates, and we laughed and had fun. And then the next door, we played the game, and it was good to see that though. Yeah, that was fun. They was pretty cool. My grandma's pretty gangster, so she's pretty cool. She's like, she ain't showing none. She's ready to come see her baby play, I guess.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the Ravens, tell us about some stories you can share with us with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Joe Flacco, Ray Rice. Man, you guys have a talented roster.
I'll give you a Ray story, and I'll give you a Ray story first. So this is rookie minicamp. No, this is minicamp. So we don't went through OTAs, rookie minicamp, and all that. So those older vet guys don't really have to be there for that because they, like Ray Lewis, know every play. So I remember the night before minicamp started, the 3-day minicamp, the mandatory minicamp, we had a team meeting that night. And I was like, man, we get to see Ray Lewis at night, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what he really look like in person. So I remember he walks into the meeting. First of all, he the last one to walk in there. So he walks into the meeting room and it gets super quiet. Like, and you felt the presence, like, oh, that is Ray Lewis. Oh my God. But he was a lot smaller than what I saw on TV. Because by around this time, the tight ends are like running like receivers now. So he said he lost that weight because he wanted to keep up with those tight ends. But anyway, so get over being starstruck. So the next day, we gotta go play. We gotta go show we made us. So we first play practice, first play of practice, we running the scout team, the rookies and the second team guys have to serve as the first team offense and defense. So the second team offense we were servicing the first team defense. Of course, they get the ball first because anyways, so we called a draw play, and I remember breaking the huddle and running to the line, and like I'm having to tap because we have the music playing. I'm having to tap my center because it's silent count. So I go to look back to see, I think it was Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback to make sure he's like, doing his thing so we can do the hip tap. As I'm looking back, I hear Ray Lewis say, the draw right here, the draw coming right here, the draw coming right here. And I look up, he's pointing to where the draw is coming, which is beside me, where the ball's coming. And I'm like, oh man, like, so I freak out. I feel like, I pause. I was like, stop the ball. So I was like, he know the play. So he was like, get down, get on your stand. Boom. So we run the play.
Wow.
He starts playing in the backfield. Boom. So we go back to the huddle, and coach is like, come here, son. He said, I'm sorry. He said, come here, son. He said, what's the hold up? He said, son, it's Ray Lewis. He know all the damn plays. So right then I knew, okay, it's not a joke. But no, Ed Reed was my locker mate, man. I watched Ed Reed from the days of Miami. I was a huge Miami fan growing up. Everybody loved
Ed Reed. Edgerrin James, Ed Reed. You got a crazy talent.
Yeah, man. So, but no, Ed was cool. We called him Eddie Kane. He was but none of these guys, everybody was cool and down to earth. None of these guys had egos. I don't know what that made everybody think that, big time player. No, man. Ed was super cool. He was that uncle that always gave you advice. And one thing Ed told me that I stuck with me, he said, if you studied all week and you practice and you know what you're doing, never second guess yourself, because he said the first thought is always the right thought. So I've always took that with me. Like, but besides him being funny or not, but yeah, we had a great locker room. We had Terrell Suggs, who's crazy as hell. We had Ray Rice, talks all day long. I love it. We had Terrence Cody, one of the guys I grew up watching. Michael Oher, Matt Bird. We had Brian McKinney. So Brian McKinney. Yeah, so Brian McKinney was so Brian called all the offensive linemen in the room, the rookie guys, his interns. So every time Brian went out, we had to go out. We have a good time, but he always calls us intern. So that was cool, man. That was a fun year, man. So, but yeah, that was Ray Lewis stories. But no, Ray Lewis loved acting like he's Bernie Mac too. So it's kind of funny.
His nickname is a Big Mac for Brian McKinney. Big Mac. His
Big Mac.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Big
awesome.
Mac too, but everybody call him Big Mac because he's a bigger Mac. A B Mac.
B Mac.
I love hearing about the camaraderie.
Yeah, that's one thing about us that group, like in the NFL anyways, like even though we was rookies or practice squad or first team or All-Americans or everything, like everybody was treated like equals, man. So that was a great thing. And they always gave us knowledge. All those older guys gave us, all those young guys, knowledge. And I think everybody from that class ended up being the highest paid or being the highest paid this or playing over 5 years. I think in that rookie class that came in the Ravens, I think all those guys in that class ended up playing 5 years or more, except for like 2 or 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's so incredible to me, like how you said that nobody had a real big ego. And I think that's so clutch when you can be yourself, represent, have total strength, but have all those active players come together. That's why you win the Super Bowl. That's why you're champion.
Right.
So tell us about the energy before every game or like Super Bowl game. Like tell us about that energy.
So the energy before the game and Super Bowl. So the energy, in college, man, everybody thinks it's, oh, you gotta be quiet, you gotta be focusing and like I've always the goofy guy in the locker room, not in the locker room, but I'm lighthearted because I don't practice basketball all week. I'm not about to be this stern. I want to focus. I want to have fun now. It's time to have fun. We know what to do. So in the NFL locker room, it's music playing before a game. Everybody laughing and not joking, but not being overly jokey. But it's a good time. It's very light. And then I think stuff gets serious like 10 minutes before we go out to go play. And for the Ravens, we knew what time it was. We go do our warm-up, go outside, and we come back in before we go out and play as a team. And by that time, everybody's locked in. Everybody got their jitters out. And then Ray Lewis speak. Ricky's barely played that season, but to hear that man speak before a game in the locker room, it's everything that you thought it was, seeing it on TV. I'm like in this locker room, like in real time, like, wow, man, he gets us ready to go. So that was amazing to see that every Friday. Sorry. Well, he spoke on Saturday nights too, but like before the game, that was amazing. And that stadium is so loud. It reminds me of my stadium, but it's
I wish
great.
they had reality TV with that. Like, I want to be a fly on the wall.
Right,
that sounds incredible.
Man. Dude, the stuff he used to say make us run through the wall. It's never the same thing. It's always something good. And it's like, whoo. But then when we come out and then he does his dance, oh my God. So that was great. That was, man, I loved that. Then to see him do it for the last time, that was, and I got it on my phone. Well, I got it on my BlackBerry. So like, I think that was great, man. That was a great time in my life, the Ravens. But then the energy before the game is a great stadium. It's a great city, man. So the bank always brought the energy every Sunday.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
And before I get to my question, I have a fan question here on my app, on the Spreaker app. Someone wants to know, what was it like playing underneath Coach John Harbaugh?
It was good. I never really focused on head coaches because at the end of the day, I'm in the room with my position coach every day. So he was a great guy, but I mean, it was a great guy. He let the leader lead the team. I mean, he was a great coach, but it was a leader-led that year. It was a leader-led team. We had so many guys like Haloti Nada, Avery, Darnell Ellaby, Terrell Suggs, Ahidebo, Bernard Pollard. We had so many vet guys, and we had Joe Flacco, Matt Burt, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith. We had Vontae Leach. Can't forget about Vontae.
Yeah.
Vontae Leach. We had so many veteran guys. We had a bunch of guys on the staff that actually played in the NFL too. So it was a vet-led team. So Harbaugh was great for that, letting those guys lead, because I feel like, we respected that because we watched these guys play on TV when we was kids. So to see these guys like really leading the team, that was great. But Harbaugh's a great guy, man.
So my question here is, obviously, the talent speaks for itself with your roster. But the one thing about our show is we like to grab like inspiring stories, other players that you played with, or what their story about. And obviously, you brought up Michael Oher before. And speaking of his story, I watched his movie Blindside 1,000 times. Man, this movie is like really inspiring. Again, it's crazy. So for you, what was it like being his teammate? After what he'd been through in his life, to be able to work hard, get to where he wanted it to be, which is the NFL, win a Super Bowl with you, and being on the same offensive line group. So what was it like for you?
It was cool, man. Mike was like a big brother, man. It was crazy because I took a visit to Ole Miss when I was a kid, like young, like 10th grade. Because a lot of my coaches played from Mississippi in high school. They were from the area, so we went there for a little bit. And I remember this guy who they kept talking about, Mike, Big Mike, or Big O. And then fast forward, I get to Clemson my freshman year. In the summertime, I checked out this book called, I remember a guy who was recruiting me from Alabama was like, you need to read this book on this guy called Michael Oher, The Blind Side. Mm-hmm. He told me this a while back during recruiting. So I ended up checking that book out my freshman year here. And then I started reading it. And then I was like, oh, shit, that's Michael Oher. I know this kid. And I'm like, wow. And by that time, I was like, okay, now I realized who that guy was because they kept talking about him. Like, this guy here came from a hard life. And then I'm like, all right, cool. But then I read the book. This is before the movie came out. I'm like,
the book.
Yeah, yeah. The real story.
Real deal.
So I read that book. I was like, oh, that's Michael Oher. Mm-hmm. And I put two and two. But you know what's crazy? I read the whole book. And then, like, I'm sitting in class one day. And it just, in the middle of class, oh, that's what that book was about out of nowhere. So it was great, man. Mike was like a big brother. He hates that movie, by the way.
Oh, he does?
He does?
Yeah, because I don't think he hated it. He just, like, it's accurate, but it's not accurate.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I get it. You got to make it look good for the TV. But
someone just had this conversation recently with me. It's so funny that you're talking about this. It's so funny.
Right. But the thing about it is, it's like, he don't hate it. It's just like, you know, it's like that phantom. Like everybody, that's the only thing everybody talk about. Here this man is he done came through the ranks and made his life better. And he's so much past that like, why we keep talking about it. But it's a great movie and a great story. Mike, everybody's still talking about it. But Mike is a good guy, man. Big brother. He's doing great things now with charity events.
With his charity,
yeah. So
we had Dexter McCluster on here, and he was saying that he was singing the preaches of Michael's charity work too.
Mike is a great dude, man. That's kind of like one of my favorite people that I play with. Quiet guy, you know, swaggy, very fashionable, but he always gave us help and knowledge when we need help. Yeah. And he never shied away from giving us advice on how to be better athletes and be better professionals. So kudos to Mike, man.
That's very cool. And I want to talk about your job at Clemson, the Director of Football Alumni Engagement and Development, which is just that it sounds so you. Mm-hmm. It sounds like, you know, just such a fun job. Tell us a little bit about a day in the life of.
Well, it depends because it has a lot of moving parts. I'm still figuring out the inner makings of it. I'm in the process of bringing on a actual hello.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm in the process of actually bringing on someone else to help with the staff, but now it's cool. So the day in the life of during the season is we have quite a few staff meetings about, you know, what's coming up that week, who we're playing, X, Y, and Z. So my main focus is like during game weeks and game days is keeping in contact with our former guys and guys coming to practice, making sure I'm being a great host for those guys and guys coming in for the games on Saturday, making sure I'm being a good host then and making the experience great. Just continue to make them feel welcome. And I'm housed with the Empower Journey, which is our player development as a whole, one of the best one in the nation that everybody tries to mimic. So our Hefe, Jeff Davis, has added the fourth pillar, which is overtime. So my job and my vision is to build out something similar into that with personal and professional development. I have a chance to do great programs to make that engage our guys. So as a whole, man, it's fun. I'm still learning it, but I had a lot of expertise in it from a professional level with the NFL and being a former player. And so I understand all the makings of it. So the fun part about it, I could continue to build it out to what I wanted to be and my vision for it.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Ready for the job. Throw us in there too.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're
You
ready.
need an assistant. We'll come in for the day.
But that's the one thing about Coach. He really cares about the football alumni, because he always talks about this program is designed for the 30-year-old version of the player, not just right now, because 30 years down the road, when the guy is 30 years old, has a family, you don't want that guy to come and hug you, not run away from you. So he's very passionate about this space, and I'm glad I get a chance to head this up and make it something great.
You're gonna do a great job, man.
Absolutely.
Wherever you are, you're gonna do a fantastic job, and because you showed it on the field, obviously, and off the field too. And for you, I want to ask you, obviously, over the years, you've spent time with a lot of teams after the Baltimore Ravens career, but I want to ask you about playing with the Saints. Obviously, it was a short stint, but you got to learn from Sean Payton, who recently just retired, announced his retirement just for this year. You don't know what he's going to do, but what's your thoughts on him, and what did you learn from him while you were there with the Saints?
Oh man, Coach Payton is a very cool guy, man. I've never heard him scream or yell while I was there or anybody else like that. Again, he's like one of those guys who let the players, the veteran guys, take lead and take charge, because when you think those are guys who are out there playing, but it was a great atmosphere. When I came to New Orleans, I came from Buffalo, so it's kind of a similar system as far as play calling. Yeah. So I kind of had something, but I mean, it was cool. We had a lot of veteran guys like what's my name? Reef. Reef was there. Jari Reed, Jari Evans. Mm-hmm. Who else we had there? We had a lot of guys that were great guys. I was only there for 6 weeks, but it was okay. I mean, it was New Orleans was a great city, man. I think for me though, I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't still hung up on just bouncing around, coming from a year and a half with the Bills, and then coming there now and still trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing, because I'm new getting there. So, but no, I mean, it was a great team, man. Great team to be around.
And Drew Brees, what was it like playing with, learning from Drew Brees in that 6 years?
Drew Brees is great. I love Drew Brees because, I mean, we had our, a few conversations here and there, but Drew Brees does this amazing thing at practice where he makes the right throw, but he still after he makes his throw, he still go through his reads. That's being a professional, man. That's how guys play for a long time and break all those records, because even at his time in his prime, he still was doing the small things. So I love Drew Brees for that, showing me stuff like that, or watching him in practice.
That consistency is key.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Antoine, tell us, what is your key to balance?
Wow. Man, what is my key to balance?
Or something.
Figure that out. I think the key to balance is having the awareness to understand where you are and figuring out. So I believe in the word. What's the word when you a little here, a little there? What's the word when you break stuff up? Like I may not eat. I don't eat meat all week, but I eat on Saturday.
Proportionalize, diversify.
Start with an M. What is it? But anyways, I look at it like that, man. You just take here and there, man. You don't, not too much of this, not too much of that. I just think as much as you do good, you have a little room for error. I think the balance is knowing where you are, knowing what your distractions are, and knowing where you need to get better at. And I think it's a balance of like a little here, a little there. So, but I think the biggest thing of that is self-awareness. If you know you shouldn't be eating fried food, but you love fried food, don't eat it all the time. Just eat it on the weekend. And then during the week, or reward yourself. If I know I shouldn't be eating anything sweet, But if I go work, if I don't like working out, but if I know it makes me better,
Yeah.
reward yourself with it. Like, all right, after this workout, I'm gonna get this delicious smoothie. Or when I do pay off my credit, or when I do save this money, I can buy this house. Or I know it sucks that I can't buy what I want, but when I do what I'm supposed to do, then buy that car. So I think it's the key to this is self-awareness, man, knowing what you need to work on and knowing what you don't need enough of. That word's gonna bother me too. What is this called? I say it every day.
It starts with the M?
Yes. But anyways, I think the key to it is self-awareness.
That's great.
Yeah, I gotta look.
Totally agree.
Now, me, Kia, we're on a mission now. We gotta find that word, whatever he's looking for. We gotta find that word.
Either way, you put it perfectly.
Right.
No, but we gotta find that word. We're on a mission for Antoine. We gotta find that word.
You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna hang up, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm gonna text it to you.
But yeah, so we got more fans questions in here. So I'm gonna put two more fans have joined in here, and then I'm gonna put both of them into one. So the first one, they want to know. Someone wants to know: did Ray Lewis ever teach you guys, every player in the locker room, about his dance? And the next part to this, someone else wants to know: what was the cigar life like with Ed Reed?
Oh man, so the dance the dance that Ray Lewis does is called a squirrel. So a lot of my folks are from Florida, so I've been knowing about that dance since I was a kid. But he does it in a specific, different way. It's just more of a glorified way he does it. So I already knew how to do. I knew what he was doing. But he does do like a little seminar that I seen on ESPN that he does here and there that shows people how to do it. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he did it back in the day when he was younger to show everybody what he was doing. But
are you gonna do it for us?
For me?
Yeah.
But as far as cigar life, Ed Reed, I didn't really know Ed Reed was big on cigars until this year, which is crazy you said, because now that he's chief of staff with the Hurricanes, like the last 3 years, and when those guys played here, it's a cigar lounge in Greenville, and everybody, hey man, you know Ed Reed came here, smoked cigars, cool. But now that I'm in the 30s now, I know that's a big thing amongst adults of cigars. So I think that cigar thing is taking off because now with social media and with different branding opportunities, guys are diving into that. I know one of my favorite rappers, Nas, has his own cigar line. Ed Reed, that's the thing to do when guys, you want to go hang out at a cigar bar? I'm like, I don't smoke cigars like that, but I'll go. And I notice guys when celebrate. I mean, I've smoked one like celebratory reason like marriage and when my friends have kids and whatnot, stuff like that. But yeah, I know cigars is a very big.
You guys didn't smoke anything when you won the Super Bowl?
So what?
You guys didn't smoke anything when you won the Super Bowl?
I think Ed might have had a cigar. Yeah, we had cigars in our locker, but.
Ron Jaworski and Ditka have that annual Super Bowl cigar party.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of guys smoking that, but I mean, I grew up watching my uncle smoke it. They was in the Army too, so I never really paid close mind to it. But I might give it a shot here and there. I've done it before, but I never really just delved into the cigar life like that.
And you went to University of Florida for your athlete development specialist program. How was that?
Oh yeah, so I did that during the panty, when it first started. What's his name? Duncan Fletcher. So every year the NFL or this program called PADS, it's like all the player development from golf to football to volleyball, every organization that had player development, they was in this one spot, and it's called PADS. It's this program to help service all of the directors of player development or just anybody want to get into that field. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so yeah, so
from Florida.
And Duncan, the University of Florida, this is what the guy that's on the board of created PADS, he works at Florida, and I always kind of wanted to pick his brain because I was an intern at the NFL League Office, so I wondered how can I get more diverse and get better at player development. So I ended up reaching out to him here and there. We connected a couple times, and then he he said, well, why don't you just, he sent like a sample program of that. So I knocked that out in like a week and a half. And then I realized, hey, well, maybe I'll just pay for it, or I get the school I was at to pay for professional development. And he's like, man, no, you good. You can just do it because I know you're hard. I know you're passionate about this. You're not just trying to do it because it's a hot commodity. You actually have a passion for this. So he allowed me to take the real one and get my certification. So during the pandemic, instead of just sitting there eating ice cream, so that was my first break in like 15 years. So I took full advantage of that. So besides all the hiking and running and eating ice cream and chilling I was doing, I would really put myself in discipline mode for like 3 or 4 hours a day, and I got it done. So, but I learned so much through that. Yeah, so I learned so much through that. That it was such a blessing to me because I had time to sit down and actually do that.
Wow.
That's awesome. And do you work with the NFLPA too?
No. I was
Players
at
Association.
The NFL league office, the actual NFL. So I know there's always a distinction between the Players Association and the NFL. I don't think the PA likes the NFL, whatever, but
Wow.
Not saying that. I just think it's more or less the PA is former player led versus the NFL is just the they call it the shield. So
wow. I had the Morris Smith
moderation.
There you go. Yes.
Let's go. There you go.
Oh, that was gonna bug me.
Man,
I'm gonna remember that word forever now. That's really key. Moderation.
Yeah,
all in moderation.
Everything can be done, good, bad, indifferent, and moderation. But that's your opinion, what you consider was bad intake and was good intake. So moderation, we all need I call it the yin and the yang.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I got to talk to Demarius Smith from the NFLPA. It was an honor.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy and great person, and what an honor to talk to him. But I want to ask you, for you now, looking back at your career, obviously winning a Super Bowl, working hard, being undrafted, but getting an opportunity to get to your goal, which was NFL, and how grateful are you to be in this position, being a Super Bowl champion, playing for a great organization in the Ravens, and not only that, but playing with other great teams and learning from great coaches and players.
How grateful am I? Man, I'm very grateful because, I didn't get drafted. I didn't make all the money I want to make. I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do, but I got to do a lot of stuff that a lot of people wish they could have done. And I had to sit back and realize how blessed I was. But I think I became grateful when God finally sat me down. I had a break. Because from a point to when I finished playing at 17 and 18, from 17 to top of 19, I would say I was in a bad space, but it was just what am I doing? I don't so when I moved to New York to work at the NFL league office, things started happening to me. But in between that time, I lost weight, I changed my body, I changed my mind, I cut people off, and it was just a brand new vision that I had for myself. And I found meditation, and I found just ways to deal with, of not football not ending the way I wanted to end. So, and I had to realize, man, I had a chance to do a lot of stuff. And I think when I started being grateful and stopped saying, why me? Or I was always a great guy, I never spent my money, I don't understand why it's all happening to me. And I had to realize what God was doing for me, man. So now when I get a chance to speak to the rookies or speak to guys now in this space, I can be a guy and I can be a resource to these guys because I've been there. I've been to the top of the mountain. And now I think it helps me do my job because I'm not looking for the payday. I'm not looking to climb the mountain. I'm just looking to do great work and inspire people and help guys, through their journey. Because I've been to the pinnacle. I did what I wanted to do as far as that, or what I thought was the tip of the iceberg. So now, man, I have a chance to, help guys and, uplift guys and be a resource to them. So that makes me grateful, man. And to see my mom get the chance to see me graduate after I finished playing football and And seeing all the stuff that I'm doing now, or the stuff that I can do, that helped me to see gratitude. And I think once I focus on that and realize it ain't all about the money, it ain't all about the flashiness, it ain't all about what I thought I was supposed to be doing. It's like now I feel like I'm in the because I didn't really, to be honest, man, I enjoy NFL, but it's a grind.
Yeah.
They bringing people in every day to take their job or to make their team better. They don't care about the player per se. So I think being in this space now, I understand that. And I can help tell guys to focus on them and focus on bettering the person, because the player going to take care of itself. And when the player is over, how is the person going to be? So I have all these stories and all this experience to help these guys and help people through that bad time in their life, or through, being confused. But yeah, man, meditation, dog, saved my life. So I am truly grateful to be where I am today.
Wow.
I'm so glad you said that. First of all, amen. Love it. Love that. Love that you're where you're at. True you. Amen to that. And I'm so glad you said that too, because when I asked about the balance, I also wanted to hear about like if you did have meditation or a part of fellowship groups. And, our conversations move fast, but now do you host any fellowship groups currently for the players? Are you part of that?
Well, with Paul Journey, we kind of have our ambassador meetings for Paul Journey. So, but I hold court in the cafeteria, man. And then too, I'm still the young old guy. I'm still I'm a huge sneaker fan. So the guys love that. The guys love that I play in the NFL. The guys know that I'm still jokey, but I still can get serious. So I think that is kind of like my what they call it, my mission, or that's kind of like my fellowship. So, but no, man, I try my best to kick it with my homies when I can, and we talk grown man talk. So I don't really just say we're gonna do X, Y, and Z, but that's why I love my space, because when I do have events, we can hold court at those events, like get everybody's where they are now, where they want to be, and just talk about the old days, how we get tours. So it's not anything, it's all organic, not anything orchestrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Just connecting and talking and relatability. Special.
Yeah, so I want to ask you a couple more things before we let you go. How many sneakers do you collect?
Man, I probably got. See, the thing about me, I don't just
did you see Mike Bibby's closet on that?
Oh my God. Yeah. Mike Bibby has a full thing of shoes. Crazy.
Man, when I was with the Bills and the Ravens, one of my good friends, Dennis Dixon, who went to Oregon, has damn near every Jordan, every Nike, and all that. But for me, man, I had shoes growing up. We was blessed to have like name brand shoes, but it was never the ones I really wanted, or the ones that, still was kind of fly. But I always told myself, man, when I get to where I want to be, I'm gonna get any shoe I want. And it was crazy that my mom, when I was in between my rookie year, when I came back home, I had like a bunch of my shoes from college and I had a bunch of my shoes from my apartment. My mom was like, yo, you always said when you get to where you're going to be, you're going to buy your every shoe you're going to buy. And I started crying when she said that, man, because it was happening. Now it's like, it's like shoes. I'm tearing up now. It's like shoes come from everywhere now. Like I've had in my possession, I probably had over 300 or 400 pair of shoes. I had shoes at my dad's house, my mom's house, my sister's house, my brother's house. I have shoes that I had from my homie's crib that, hey, I'm going to train for the combine. Can I leave some of my stuff here? Hey, bro, it's been 10 years. Come get your stuff. I had these
he's shoes. Like, wish I was the same size.
Man, like between CDs and shoes, man, I got countless, bro. Like, so yeah, man, I probably had over 400 pair of shoes.
That's crazy. Wow. What are your thoughts so far in the playoffs? Now we're down to 4 teams. Obviously, I'm a big Cowboy fan. Unfortunately, we lost to the 49ers. But how surprised are you that the 49ers are still in this? They're playing the Rams. But the other side, you got the Bengals and the Chiefs, which is amazing. But for you, what are your overall thoughts on the playoffs this year?
I mean, it is what it is. Everybody talk about the overtime rules. But
yeah, let's talk about the overtime. That hurts. Let's talk. What are your thoughts on that, Antoine?
What,
Like
the
you
more
just
time?
didn't get the chance. Whoever had it. I mean, I knew the Chiefs were going to win. I just knew it psychically.
Yeah, it's just, bro, like, it is what it
Like
is.
you got to
man.
bring the best defense, or you got to bring your A game. But I feel like each one should get a turn.
Done the rules, man. The rules is the rules.
Yeah.
So
I
we
know.
don't. Like, I know we can say all day long, but until somebody make a change.
Yes.
But I think stuff like that always brings up the conversation for the next year. So, like, just like every year's a rule change because something happened that we didn't have a rule for that. Like, so, but I hope the Bengals win because we'll have 3 more Clemson Tigers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm rooting for.
Okay.
Speaking of, I think I forgot who said it. I was watching some radio show and someone brought a good idea where the team decides, all right, whoever the team that does not get the ball in overtime first can decide where to put the ball for the other team, and then I don't know, something I heard where both teams will get equal chance. Someone said maybe I don't know, like a team where
so the team have a chance to spot the ball when they
yeah,
want to
wherever,
spot the ball.
yeah.
Hell no, I would never want to do that because they're gonna try to put you in the worst position ever. I feel like if everybody have equal rules, start the same place, I agree with that. But people having a chance, if you don't got a great defense, man, then you asked out. That's the rule. I mean, I get it. I get it. Is it fair? Probably not. But you know, they get paid to play offense. They get paid to play defense. Ain't like college where you gotta, you know, if this team does this, then you get another. Nah, man. I mean, hey, that's a Roger Goodell. That's a compliance rule in the NFL league office. That's Mr. Lyons' department, I think now.
Yeah, I saw they had Joe Burrow smoking a cigar in his uniform.
Yeah.
He's already ready. He's ready to win.
But yeah. So let me. Like I said, I'm a big Cowboy fan, and do you pay attention to like all the offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your what do you like about the Cowboys offensive line right now?
I feel like, man, for the longest they probably been the most consistent. I believe they got a lot of money up there, man. But I was always a fan of the Pouncey twins because kind of similar to play. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big fan of Tyron because Tyron came out the same year I came out, and he left to go to the league early. But specimen, man, veteran guy. I like the Martin guy, but I also like what's my man name? I slipped my mind. I was talking about offensive lines in general, though. In the league.
General, yeah.
I slipped my mind. Jesus Christ. But anyways, I like all the tough asses.
Antoine, one of my favorite questions to ask is, you know, since you wanted to be an NFL player since you were very young, how did it feel when you finally put on the NFL uniform?
I first put one on. I looked at so the year I was in the league was the first year that Nike was sponsoring the NFL that was back. Mm-hmm. So everybody's jersey looked like a game jersey, practice jersey. Man, so social media was big, but it wasn't super big. Like we just had Facebook. Instagram was out, but it wasn't like, so it was Twitter and Facebook. And man, I remember like all of us going in the bathroom because we was there the night before we had to practice. And I remember all of us being there like, oh man, this is my jersey and whatnot. So it felt good. But I remember my first preseason game was in Atlanta, and like I grew up an hour change from Atlanta in Alabama. So like all my barbers came from Alabama, and my mom and dad came, and I think my brother came, and then I was playing against my best friend who was on the Falcons team. So that was cool, man, to see both of us have a chance to put on our jerseys at the same stadium at the same time, and all our families is there. That kind of made it special.
Wow.
That is so special. Yeah. And what's your favorite NFL experience or football? Because you know college is huge. I mean, Clemson, it could be anything. Football. Some people say high school. Some people. What's your favorite football moment?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite football moment. Damn. What's my favorite football moment? Man, so My favorite football. Oh, okay. I'll tell you one of them. One of my cards. So we haven't been to the ACC championship in like 20 years. So my senior year, we done won the Atlantic. We down to the wire now. We playing Wake Forest. And and like for some odd reason, Wake Forest was sticking with us the whole game. And then it came down to a field goal. This field goal was determined going back. We went there my sophomore year. We lost to Georgia Tech, but this field goal here is going to determine my legacy in my mind at Clemson. I'm going to be on a team that we won an ACC championship in 20 years, and we're going to turn this thing around. So that's my mindset, running on the field as we don't call a timeout to get the game-winning field goal to go to the ACC championship. Wow. So we run, and it's a 3:00 game, so it's about like 5:00 now. The sun's still out. So that means we still have some time to go out and party. We very light day if we do win this game. And I'm thinking like this is gonna be a crazy field once the game is over. So we kick the field goal, and I'm watching it slowly, and everybody like pausing, and then it goes in, and me and my boy Brandon Thomas, who's here now as a GA, we like, yes, we're going to the SEC championship. Man, then he busts my lip with his helmet.
Oh my God.
I had my helmet off. And I remember going to talk to the media and my mom. They're like, why is your mouth bleeding? I'm like, my mouth full of blood. But that was probably one of my fondest memories and greatest moments. And I think, of course, Super Bowl win, but that was a blur, man, because it was like, we really won that. I think the greatest moment, too, one of my great was after Super Bowl, going to that party afterwards. Every singer, rapper, actor, anybody was in that party, and everybody was high-fiving me. I'm like, bro, I'm a rookie. Like, you are Gucci, man. You Jay-Z and Beyonce's there, and Mary J. Blige is on stage, and Frankie Beverly and Maze, and all my favorite rappers are there. All the New Orleans rappers are there, like Cash Money, No Limit, and all these famous actors, Tom Cruise. And man, I was like, and everybody's like looking at me like I'm the star that night. That was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
A kid from Anson, Alabama.
You're the star.
A kid from Anson, Alabama. Keep in mind, we didn't even touch the field that game. None of the rookies did. But to keep in mind, to say like, wow, that these people are like high five to be in. Everybody want to know what I do, who I am. I'm like, dude, you know who you are. Like, I'm a kid from Anson, Alabama, man. I'm like, wow, look at this here. So I was in the daze, man, for about 2 days.
Man, that's crazy. I
love that story.
That must have been fun for you, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a great moment. My sister got a chance to. My mom and dad didn't go out, but it was me and my sister, and I think who else came? But it was like all my young family was there, man. We had a ball, like to hear Frankie Beverly and Maze on stage playing all the classic hits, and then I'm going to the bar to get something to drink, and Jay-Z is standing right here. I get to shake Jay-Z's hand. I'm like, yo, it's old. Then Beyonce and Kelly Rowland and Mary J. Blige did her thing, and like then I'm there with with Aaron Reed, Ray Lewis, and I'm like, whoa, man, that was crazy.
Man, wow,
that's awesome. And that was a great performance. I remember it. I actually got to be in Jay-Z's studio and see him work late one night. I used to live in New York, and
I did too. I love New York. What part of New York you live in?
Yes, I was just I worked for Federated, so I lived downtown west on the west side, and then after 9/11 moved downtown.
I guess
I live like Little West Charles Street. It's actually across from
I live right in front of Beetlejuice, the Broadway.
Okay.
So I live on 51st and 7th, right? I literally can from my doorstep or from my apartment complex to I was right by the steps, the big stadium steps in Times Square. So yeah, man.
I used to work at 34th and 7th for a lot of it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
and then I worked for Kelwood after a while, and that was uptown too.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
New York is cool, man. I like New York.
Yeah.
I would never live there permanently though.
Yeah, I missed Philly. I came back. But I loved it. They were nice. It was a good place.
People are mean on the subway though, because everybody got somewhere to be. Apparently,
they do. They do.
All right, so the last two things here before we go. Our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. Former NFL coach. He's now the coach for Grambling State.
Hugh Jackson, I know
yeah,
Hugh.
Yeah, Coach Hugh, my guy. We're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe, the kids stay safe. So we're trying to help him and his team, Kimberly, find ways to stop that human trafficking. It's so horrible out there. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Cool. I know that's one of the big things that the NFL was talking about when we went to Atlanta for our leadership and advocacy program we did for our former athletes. And I know in Atlanta, that was a big thing, especially with that culture, man. That's crazy out there. So I trust me, I'm aware. That's crazy. But I would definitely love to take a look at that and help any way I can.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the center workers right now?
Man, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, man, like y'all don't get, y'all should get a holiday, man. Like Jesus Christ, all this stuff is going on, all the hoopla, all the truth and the false, and everything that they got to deal with, and still keep a smile on their face and be cordial, man. I salute them. So I have aunties that are nurses and essential workers. My mom was an essential worker. She worked at Walgreens and she had to be there. So, and my grandma works in the hospital. So, like, I salute them, man. Two women I love to death have to be out there on the front line. So, salute the essential workers.
Thank you. Tell them we said thank you for their service.
Yes, man. I definitely will. Yes, sir.
And before we close this out, would you like to plug anything to our fans? Let our fans know where they can follow you.
Oh, well, my Instagram is Mr. Mac25. I'm sorry, it's MacLife256. That's MACLIFE256. Mac Life stands for Motivated and Committed Life. And my area code 256 where I'm from. My Twitter is the same, Mr. MacLife256. And shout out to my hometown, my mom, and love you. And also, man, just shout out to Clemson, man. We're gonna get this thing rolling again. Great year, by the way. Everybody,
great. You guys had a
shout
great.
out to you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it.
We're coming down. We're coming.
Yeah, we got it. We're gonna come down.
When y'all coming?
Let's go.
Let's go.
When y'all coming?
Let's go. I'm saying this year.
My goal, our goal is to come there for a game, interview all you guys in person too. So.
I got you. Well, let me know when I could kind of make something happen for you guys. But as far as interview, we'll figure that out. But let me know. Once our schedule comes, I can kind of accommodate you guys on that.
Oh, cool.
We appreciate you, Antoine.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well said there. That wraps up episode 967 with Super Bowl champion Antoine McClain from the Baltimore Ravens. He went to Clemson for college. Man, what a great career, offensive guard. And now he's currently working for Clemson. And man, thank you again for joining the show. It's truly an honor. Thank you to our fans for tuning in and asking questions, also being interactive. And I love this app where fans can come in and ask a lot of questions. But thank you again. This story was really inspiring, and we learned a lot today. And we would love to have you back on the show down the line at some point. But keep up the great work. Good luck next season, this season coming up. And we would love to come down there too to watch a game. But thank you again, and stay safe.
Thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great rest of your time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.